It's an absolute honor to introduce our next guest. You can watch him live on the WWE Network at NXT TakeOver Dallas for just $9.99. He is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world and has some serious hardware to prove it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the NXT Champion, Finn Balor. Finn, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you doing, and have you started to get those butterflies for this big, huge event?
Well, fellas, first off, thanks very much for the introduction. I don't know if I can quite live up to that praise, but I can only try.
Well, we appreciate that. I think you're going to do just fine.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Yeah. Obviously, we got Takeover coming up next Friday, and if the butterflies weren't there, there'd be something wrong. There's always kind of a buzz, not only around me but around all of NXT when we got Takeover coming up, and I'm just literally buzzing to get out there and handle business.
Definitely. Now, April 1st, Dallas, Texas, like we said, NXT's very own, you could say, little WrestleMania is TakeOver, and your opponent will be Samoa Joe. You've fought him before, but do you consider this match to be your biggest test to date?
Anytime you step in the ring with Joe, it's a test. And definitely in London, I defeated Joe, but it was a battle, and really I just survived. So survival is definitely the number one thing on the agenda in Dallas. Joe's world traveled, incredible experience, great knowledge, ring general. But that's what I came to WWE. That's what I came to NXT for, was to be challenged, to be pushed out of my comfort zone. And there's no one that's going to push me more than Samoa Joe in the ring. And when the lights are on and the cameras are rolling, that's when I'm most relaxed, and that's when I'm going to be kind of in my groove and flowing. And I'm just excited about April 1st.
Well, we are as well. And one of the biggest questions on everybody's mind is: will we be seeing Finn on April 1st, or are we going to see the Demon?
That's a big question, and over the last kind of 2 years, that's kind of the main question on people's lips. But I feel like, especially in the last couple of months, the lines between the two have been blurred, and one is not necessarily better than the other, and vice versa. And there's parts of the Demon in Finn, and there's still very much a large part of Finn and the Demon. So regardless of what Joe gets, he's going to get a fight, that's for sure.
All right, now, Finn, speaking of the Demon, where do you come up with your inspiration for the Demon paint?
It's just something that was a small seed a long time ago in Japan, and that's grown into something much more than that. And I'll take the inspiration from everywhere. I'll look out the window right now and look at the tree, and I'll see, oh my God, there's ways I can adapt that into what I'm doing in the ring. So I'm not necessarily taking it from obvious sources. I'm trying to think a little bit outside the box, and I think that's what the business of sports entertainment maybe needs right now. It needs to be a little bit reinvigorated, and people need to kind of step out of the comfort zone, think outside the box again, and really kind of come up with some new ideas that are going to be really creative and entertain the fans.
Awesome. Now, this isn't your first time to be part of WrestleMania and the WrestleMania activities. What's your favorite part about all of these festivities that go on during WrestleMania week?
Well, access is incredible. I remember as a kid, I'd see pictures in WWF magazine at the time of access, and I could not believe the scale of it. On the photos and how it was documented on TV, and now being an employee of WWE and being able to get to go there last year for the first time, I was blown away by how big it was, how easy it was for fans to interact with their favorite superstars and kind of get up close and personal, with the ring or the Hell in the Cell, and different things like that. So it's kind of hard to put in words, and it's hard to comprehend. exactly how cool Access is, and there's still there's a huge fan inside of me that wants to be part of Access. So I'll be doing my meet and greet, and then I'll have a couple of matches at Access itself, and then I'll be sneaking out the back door and maybe putting on a beanie and trying to run around and see everything else myself.
Mm-hmm. Now, NXT is arguably one of the hottest promotions in the world today. With that being said, do you think part of you would be a little bit sad if you got that call up to the main roster and leaving your NXT family?
When I first came, NXT was certainly a developmental brand, but especially over the last year, I believe NXT really is WWE's third global brand, and me as champion, I'm very proud to kind of fly the flag and be at the forefront of leading the charge of what NXT is becoming. That being said, I came here to wrestle one day the main event of WrestleMania, and that goal still stands. Will I get sidetracked in the meantime? Perhaps. I'm very focused on NXT, hyper focused on what we're doing in Dallas, and I can't really look past that. But there's always sadness moving on to the next adventure. But I can guarantee that any time that I've left something behind that I was very fond of, it was always the right decision. And if that call up comes and when it does, I'll be ready to make the jump.
Well, arguably 2015 and 2016 has been some of your biggest years of your career so far. What's the most surreal part of your career the past couple of years? Has it been a T-shirt that you've been on? You've got your own action figure. You've been in video games. What's blown your mind so far?
The thing that blows my mind the most is I've been very lucky to have kind of a long, prosperous career so far. I've got to wrestle in a lot of places and reach a lot of people. And I was very aware of kind of the adult nature of the fan base in the US that I had gained through my work in Japan. And, when I first arrived in NXT, I would see a lot of Bullet Club shirts. There was a lot of new Finn Balor shirts in the crowd worn by, adults, which, I'm very grateful for and humbled by. But now the thing that, really kind of knocks me for six, and, I'm almost getting choked up speaking about it, is when I walk out through the NXT curtain and there's 16, 17-year-old kids with Finn Balor shirts and, Finn Balor masks, and they're literally fans on the fact that they've seen me on NXT, and that's it. They don't know anything about anything else in the past that I've done. They're literally fans on the merit of my work in NXT, and that's the most humbling thing for me in my career so far, is kind of being able to reach out to those younger kids, 5, 6, 7, with face paint and action figures and demon sleeves and demon shirts and demon masks. That's something that really makes me want to get up every day and do it.
Sure. Now, Finn, before we let you go, we just got a few more questions. After TakeOver and WrestleMania, NXT heads back out on the road, even making a pit stop in our hometown of Poughkeepsie, New York on April 23rd. What's your favorite part about taking NXT on the road?
It's an amazing thing, man. Going out on the road, obviously, NXT travels a lot differently than a lot of groups. We travel as a team. And so the bonding experience among the boys is incredible. But what I really like is the venues that we do, they're very intimate, they're noisy, they're rowdy, and it really feels like kind of rock and roll wrestling at an NXT show. And, it's certainly a buzz going out there in front of those intimate audiences. And, long may it continue. We're getting to go to, different places every week or every month, and then for a lot of the guys and myself, it's the first time we've been to those towns. So regardless of the fact that we're getting to do what we love, which is wrestle, we're getting to see the world, see the United States, and just have a good time doing it.
Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck at TakeOver. Best of luck at all the activities at WrestleMania, and we can't wait to see you, like we said, April 23rd, live in Poughkeepsie, New York.